Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Callan Dunlop. Thank you for joining us. A father and son duo out of Lloydminster have created a new beacon lights to help with roadside safety. Harvey Graham, the inventor of Out There Lights, noticed that there was a lack of visibility with these overhead lights and how there was a desperate need for a change.
Over the years, you realize how dangerous they are on the roads, and then some recent accidents we had before Christmas got me looking into articles to see if somebody made a light like this to make trucks more visible. Nobody did.
Graham has been involved in deck trucks for over 38 years and shares that him and his son started this business after an intimidating experience.
Well, I was on the highway there about roughly 6 months ago, loading up an SUV, and I didn't have these lights on and at the time, and lots of vehicles speeding by and getting a little close to me.
Like Fire Rescue recently took to the water for surface water rescue training. Last week, firefighters were out on the Beaver River to practice water rescue operations. 20 members were able to participate in the course, which consisted of 1 day in a classroom setting, followed by a day in the water. The water training included boat operations, rescuing patients with boats, rescuing patients with a tethered rescuer, and rescuing patients with a throw bag. This was also the first opportunity for the firefighters to train with their new inflatable rescue boats. Learning the ins and outs of film is daunting for most, requiring tons of equipment. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we see how Lloyd Comp students are getting an opportunity to learn more in a new space. The video production course at Lloyd Comp has gone through some upgrades over the past year, now having a green screen studio, setting up these students with the knowledge they'll need if they want a career in this field.
At the grade 10 level, the students are introduced to all of the stages of production, so from pre-production to production and post-production. And then in grade 11, they get a little bit more advanced and get into the cameras more, do some of the special effects, and that's where the green screen studio comes into play. And by grade 12, they're making longer short films as a major project.
The course not only teaches, but also allows these students to express their creativity in a safe environment.
It's very nice. We get to use the almost top tier stuff on all this stuff we make. You can do a lot of cool things. You can make a lot look real with it. Like you can make people fly and fake guns, like lasers, explosions. It's pretty cool, yeah.
And that's all for this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students go beyond the classroom for immersive, hands-on learning experiences. It's about experiencing the real world.
Today is the 13th annual McHappy Day across Canada, where McDonald's restaurants raised money for the Ronald McDonald House charity. Our Thomas Wildman learned more as well as helped out at the local McDonald's.
McHappy Day is a day specifically focused on raising money for the Ronald McDonald Houses across Canada.
To me, it's probably one of the best things that we talk about when it comes to McDonald's. Sure, we do a lot of other things with McDonald's in the community and a lot of other sponsorships, but when it comes to the Ronald McDonald Houses of Alberta, that's the dearest to us, because to us, there's nothing more important than the kids.
10% of total food purchased today will go to RMHC. On top of that, sales of specialty McHappy Day socks, aprons, and tote bags, as well as any additional donations, all go towards RMHC. That's where Heather Clagis and myself come in as we help sell these items.
They have me helping out by encouraging people to make that extra donation today when they come to McDonald's. So by letting people know that if you make a $5 donation, you could take home a pair of McHappy Day socks, or also they have McHappy Day tote bags, so that's an extra donation as well. So it's just a fun way to get people to support even more if they're able.
McHappy Day has continued to grow every year, and they are hoping for continued growth for the next 30 years.
Last year, we broke a record across Canada of raising $7 million to Ronald McDonald House charities right across Canada, and we're looking to top that this year. So come in, buy what you like to eat, and help support the kids.
Well, it was truly a McHappy Day here at McDonald's, and I was very happy to help support Ronald McDonald House charities. For Primetime Local News, I'm Thomas Wildman.
And we'll have more Primetime Local News after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
It's described as a hilarious and messy backpacking adventure in the 90s. Our Leanne Sanders spoke to the author of Finding Color about her next book, Life Strikes Back.
I am talking today with Candace McPhee, and she is an amazing author based out of Calgary. And we're talking about the latest in her series from the Back in a Year book series. And we did speak with the first book, which was very interesting and amazing. And I think this is going to be another edition that follows those same lines. What can you tell me about this second installment? Where did you go from the first book?
The first book ended on a train leaving Russia, and the second book picks up pretty much right in that spot, and travels through the Baltics, Poland, Croatia, Vienna, and Czech Republic. So it covers quite a bit of space and different kinds of geographies.
The quote that is mentioned here in the news release, it rains most days, don't get me started on the food. People are low on smiles, but generous with leers and jeers, and I'm drowning in grief. So what can you tell me was happening in this book and in this time frame?
This book is a little different, because once I kind of got over the sort of initial, okay, I'm doing this, and that's kind of book one. This is where the rubber hits the road and really getting into all the travels and it's not the shiny. We've all been on holiday and taken gone to the big site and seen something, but all the trials and tribulations about getting there. And that's what this book is. It's a lot of the journey, but also the personal journey. It was just at this point, you just shove things down from a grieving perspective. Everyone has their own way, right? But mine was like, let's just move on. And a lot of times you don't have the ability to take those times to think about it and to unpack your grief. And that's what this is. And everyone's formula is different. This book was about, having the fun and sort of having those quiet times to reflect and really to heal and to work on yourself. But I couldn't do it alone. And that's the main thing. This is a lot about friendship and a lot about those fast, lifelong people that you'll never forget that you meet when you're doing something like this. So it's quite a lot about that.
So even as hard as we try to escape and get away from the things that are bedeviling us or tormenting us, it'll catch up with us at some point.
It sure does. It sure does. And I think, if I was just lucky that I was able to have this opportunity to do that. And there's some other heavy spots in the book too. There's a lot of harassment, and there is a sort of sexual assault that happens in the book as well. So unpacking and dealing with that happens throughout the story too. And my goal there was just to share my experiences and just let people know, how bad or how whatever the level, if it makes you uncomfortable and if it hurts inside, then you need to unpack it and get some help to get through it.
Absolutely. I think when we spoke the first time, Candace, I asked you once this series is over, what do you think you're going to tackle next?
Yeah, I've still got 3 to go. So there's still quite a lot of the journey. And after this, I'm not sure. I've been sort of figuring out where I want to go next. I don't think it'll be memoir based, definitely think we'll get into something different. But I'm still figuring that out. And I'm gonna see, because all of the books kind of go through different parts, and I'm gonna see what parts kind of not naturally, but are easier to write and which parts I enjoy more, and maybe start to spin up something new based on that.
All right, well, we will look forward to that, and great series that you've got on the go. I really am appreciating your point of view on things. So thanks for your time today, Candace.
Thank you as well, Leanne. Have a great day.
The Old Farmer's Almanac has been relied on for years as a source of weather predictions. Stacey Comer found out what is the forecast for the upcoming summer months.
I have a very special guest joining me today on Primetime Local News. All the way from the United States of America, Jack Burnett is here, the managing editor of the Old Farmer's Almanac. Jack, thanks for joining me.
Stacy, my favorite person. Great to
Well,
be. It's always great to be in Lloydminster, one way or another.
I appreciate you saying that today, Jack. And we want to talk about what's going to be happening as the farmers start seeding. We've had a couple of days of pretty decent rain here, so we have some puddles, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to carry on through the month of May. So what is the Farmer's Almanac, the Old Farmer's Almanac, saying for the month of May when the farmers get into the fields to start seeding?
Well, we're looking for the rest of the month. We're really actually looking at it to be pretty favorable. It's going to be a lot of partly cloudy weather. There's going to be moisture around. Some of it will, precipitate out. It's not going to be like big rainstorms, but it's going to be, we see the next, 10, 12 days, something like that, as being, I'm going to say wet, or I should say moist or damp. So it's not like going to be hot and sunny and nothing happening up there. We think it's going to be like a good rate of moistening, for our soil, as if we could use that term.
And now, what about heading into summertime? I know that forest fires are concerned, and people like to have sunshine, but we don't want it to be, a crazy hot summer with no moisture. So, for the months of, heading into June and July, August, Jack, what are we looking at weather-wise?
Well, it's interesting. Well, we're looking, when we look at the Old Farmer's Almanac Canadian Edition forecast for this summer and even into next fall. So it's 5 months, right? June, July, August, September, October. All of the temperatures we look to be above average. And all of the moisture levels, we look to be below average. So that actually, though, when on closer inspection, actually sounds worse for growers than it is. For example, we see our overall forecast for June, as far as precipitation goes, for the prairies, is about 15 millimeters below average. However, that itself is an average of what we're forecasting for the eastern prairies and the western prairies. So in fact, where you are right on the border, we're actually looking for you to be slightly above average in June. So, I mean, the other part is below average more than you're above average. But
Right.
So sometimes it's important to look at the details, which is what we do when we put together these forecasts. And when I speak with nice people like you, I try to do a little dive, into like, wait, where's this coming from? So we're looking for the next 5 months to be a little bit warmer. We're looking for the fall to be, we're looking for the next 3 months, June, July, August, to be a little bit warmer than normal. We're looking for the fall to be kind of a lot warmer than normal. So that, that's not bad at all, And similarly, while we're looking for the next 3 months to be below normal precipitation to a moderate amount, still the moderate amount is not a huge amount. It's like 20 millimeters less, for a month or something like that. So that's not huge. When we get into the fall, we're going to see the dryness be even less. So what we're looking at here, we get into like late August, September, get into the fall harvest, it should be like fantastic conditions, Should be dry, should be warm, be out driving the tractor in your undershirt, or whatever.
So it
So
sounds like things are going to kind of balance out almost. And when you do mention the warmer temperatures for the summer, Jack, are we talking like over 40 degrees, do you think? Or when you say, more than normal, around that 30 mark, or is that too tough to really kind of nail down?
well, actually, what I wrote down was, let me see if I can look that up really quickly for you. It looks, for example, in June, we're looking for it to be 1.5 degrees above normal. So let's see what that actually boils down to. So we're looking at that to be around 16 degrees. So
Right.
that's not anything to go crying to mother about. Um, so, and that's one of the things that I think many people realize, perhaps some don't, which is that um, when we're talking at the Old Farmer's Almanac Canadian Edition about um, deviations from the norm in temperatures, we're never talking about 5 degrees, or we're talking about 0.5 degree or 0.75 degree. In our world, that's still above normal or below normal, but in the real world, on the farm or in the garden, or on the ball field, wherever, it's kind of like it'll be okay. It'll be okay. No reason to panic.
Well, Jack, I appreciate your explanation and as always, for you taking the time to join us. Thank you so much for your insight, and we will chat again with you later in the summer to see how on track your predictions are. We're going to challenge you this time.
Uh-oh. Happy to. Right? Yeah, it's always great to be with you, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Jack. Have a great day.
Let's take a look at your next 3 days in Lloydminster, and very nice weather coming to the border city. Thursday, we have a high of 19, a low of 6. Friday, we're going to see the highest temperature we've probably seen all year at a high of 25, low of 10. And on Saturday, we're going to see a high of 21 and a low of +6. Very sunny weather. That is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.